Hello and welcome to the Performers Who Pivot podcast, brought to you by your host Grace Francis. This podcast is for actors and performers who are navigating two careers at the same time. Maybe one performing arts career and one business to fall back on, or a business to have alongside your performing arts career, or perhaps you want to leave the performing arts industry altogether but don't want to retrain, so you are exploring how to progress using the skills you already have. Today's episode is sponsored by DramEd. Yes, that's my very own company sponsoring this episode. In today's episode of the Performers Who Pivot podcast, I am having a conversation with Tanya Nicole Edwards, who's sharing her incredible journey. Tanya is a West Londoner whose passion for music has taken her from Sylvia Young Stage School to the stages of the West End. At just 16, Tanya made history as the youngest adult cast member in The Lion King. Since then, she's wowed audiences worldwide in productions like Dirty Dancing, Hairspray, and Motown The Musical. But Tanya's impact goes beyond the stage. During the pandemic, she founded Fly High workshops, empowering young performers to shine. I'm really excited to dive into this conversation, but a little disclaimer, Tanya was my first guest on this podcast, and I was referring to the podcast as the Performers in Business podcast because I hadn't yet settled on the title Performers Who Pivot. But without further ado, let's get into our conversation with Tanya. Hello, Tanya. Welcome to the Performers in Business podcast.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
It's lovely to have you on the show. I'm really excited about this because this is a first of many. You are, in fact, the first professional that I'm recording with today, and there are lots of amazing performers, actors lined up. And I'm really, really honoured to have you on the show. I have seen your work recently. I've been following what you do. Let's start with perhaps you giving us a bit of information about yourself, a bit about your cultural background.
Yeah, hi. I am Tanya. I am 34. I was born and raised in West London, born in White City, Shepherd's Bush. My background is St. Lucian. My family is St. Lucian. So Caribbean background, and I have been in the arts for it's crazy to think, nearly half my life. I've been in theatre.
Wow. So let's go back. You're from West London, Shepherd's Bush. So we're from the same part of London, UK. Whoop whoop. Whoop. And your background is St. Lucian. Is that your background in its entirety?
So I grew up with my St. Lucian family.
Okay.
My father's side was half Jamaican and half Spanish, I believe. I represent St. Lucia wherever I go. It's definitely who I connect with, what I connect with, and that's definitely second home for me at the minute.
And who did you grow up with? Who was in your family dynamics?
I grew up with mum. Mum was the homie, still is. I have a little sister who's 10 years younger than me. So my sister's 24. Grew up a lot around my gran, who was based in West London and still is based in West London, where all of the cousins and the aunties and uncles were kind of chilling and around music. We always had music around. But that's it, all of us lot were the West London massive.
Amazing. And grew up with mum. Was your mum a single parent?
Yeah, single parent. Yeah. She raised us both. My dad weren't in my life. I don't have a relationship with him.
Can you tell us a bit about your journey into the arts?
Yeah. Do you know what? It all kind of happened, I hate saying accidentally, but as a kid, I went to Sylvia Young School. Mm-hmm. And I only went, on a Saturday, after school on a Saturday for about 2 years, from the age of, I'd say kind of 8 to 10, or 8 to 10. I was really, really young. I always knew that I loved the arts. I was always singing around the house. I was always dancing around the house. And I always had access to things after school. So after school clubs and enrichment. And that's kind of what I ended up doing. So I was doing that on Saturdays. And when that was done, I was going to like the Tricycle Theatre in Kilburn after school, you know, from like 6 to 7, I'd do like a drama class. I was in the RBKC choir, so the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea choir and dance troupe within Connections, which was an amazing organisation that were there for us as young people growing up.
I remember.
When I was in my teens. And then I went to, you know, a normal public school, public college. I was in St. Charles College. And there was an open audition for The Lion King. And I found it in the newspaper, in the stage. And I ended up going for auditions and kept getting callbacks. I hadn't told my mum. I was kind of missing lessons. She got heat of it. I got offered the part. I couldn't take the part because I was only in my first year of college. And my mum said, you're going to have to finish college. And they called me back the year afterwards. So I went into The Lion King at 17.
Wow.
And I just kept going. I kept going and going and going. I found like my love, like for sure. I didn't even realize that I would love the theatre as much as I did. I always thought that I was going to be on TV and do, you know, commercial stuff. And I didn't think I was going to do musical theatre, but it just fell in the palm of my hands and it felt right.
I love that it just sounds like it was there for you. This was your purpose, and your journey into it, it sounds like was set up for you. It was graceful, it was easy.
Absolutely.
So going back a bit from the age that you were when you first got your part in Lion King to being between 8 and 10 years old, going to Sylvia Young, you know, those stage schools, I know they can be quite expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
Was that, I mean, your mum just was like, how did that conversation happen? Did your mum push you into it? Was it your decision?
No, I think it was all just so organic. Like my mum, like, she knew me, and she's a businesswoman, and she's always been a businesswoman. And I must say, there wasn't ever, I don't know if I was too young to notice, but there was never a struggle for me, if that makes sense. Like, I don't remember being that young and thinking, oh my God, my mum's struggling to do this or my mum's struggling to do that. She just knew that's what I loved to do, and she wanted me to be happy, and she knew that I was good at it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, now when we speak about it, you know, she'll always say, look, I had to do what I had to do, and I was working really hard, and, you know, I had my business, but then I had to close my shop to take you here, and then I had to close it to go and collect you. And do you know what I mean? You realize that struggle when you get older, when you speak to your parents. But at that time, I was too young to know. All I knew is she made it work, and I never had to. There wasn't like a begging to do this or having to, you know, rob Peter to pay Paul, or there was none of that. But I know now that there was a slight struggle, and I'm really grateful. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge your mum for being a businesswoman and raising children, because that is not easy. I'm inspired. I'd love to know more, but we can have another conversation. Okay, so you went into the Lion King at the age of 17. So one of their youngest performers you would have been.
Yeah, the youngest adult.
The youngest adult.
Yeah.
And how was that for you? What was that journey like?
Gosh, it's just the show. The connection I have with that show will just be, it'll be everlasting. I think it was a lot for me. It was huge, but it was God, I just learned so much so quickly, and it was overwhelming. I remember it being really overwhelming, really scary, but really warm. And everyone was older than me, and a lot of people were Black. It was a community for me. And also I'll never forget, I always speak so highly of them. I had a woman called Thea Barnes, who was like the dance supervisor. May she rest in peace now. She was hardcore, you know, African-American. She put me through it. As a non-dancer, someone that didn't train, I learned from the top of the top. and the best of the best. And once I left there, I knew that I can kind of do anything once I put my mind to it, because she was feeding me these little gems. And then there was a man called Clement Ishmael, who was the musical supervisor, and again, a black man. And it was like, not having a father figure, going in at 17 and having someone who, without him even realizing, stepped up as that father figure at that time for a few years and made me feel like I could do anything. He made me feel great. And he really did. Like, he always told me, Tanya, you can sing. Like, you're so wise for your age. You're so powerful. You're so touching. You're so in tune with your emotion. And I realized the importance of being true to yourself. Because I was told from that age, when you're singing, sing through emotion, or think about something that makes you feel what you need to feel in order to get that across. So to me, at that age, being in tune with yourself and understanding yourself was grounding and important, really important at that time.
So I'd love to come back to your wisdom, because I have noticed that you have a lot of that. But you said that your singing was picked up on quite, obviously that, I've heard you sing and you do have a powerful voice. You went to Sylvia Young, you said you went to a choir. What came first? Was it the voice that was there, or was it the nurturing of the voice that brought the voice out?
Ooh. The voice was there. I knew I could hit notes. I was always able to kind of just go really high, and I never had the fear of cracking.
Right.
Trying to get somewhere. I was always challenging myself, listening to like greats, people that belt, like the Whitney Houstons and Celine Dion's. I was going nuts. I was trying to hit Boyz II Men notes and craziness. But, like I said, you learn as you go on. And then I started going to, Paddington Arts and things around the area where you do learn about the voice and the importance of maintaining the voice and the health of the voice. And
it obviously has to be trained like anything else. You have to be trained to bring out the best of the best in your abilities.
You can start with something raw. I think that's what Lion King, I think it was a reality check for them as well. To have somebody rocking in a baby blue Mackenzie tracksuit, a bandana, no headshots, no agent. I didn't know what sheet music was. And I had to sing a cappella.
Wow.
And I think they realized then that, do you know what? We don't have to go to the top schools or top this and top that. There are people around that are just gifted.
Yes.
Give them a shot and a chance. You can mold these people and these young people and make them feel incredible and make them feel like they could do anything.
Yes, I love that. And was just going back to family, was mum and grandma singer? Do they have a voice?
Oh my gosh, my mum, tone deaf. No.
Oh.
My mum cannot sing Grace. Oh my God. Do you know what? She's improved actually. Now she's good. I don't understand where the shift is, but she's improved now. But no, my mum can't sing. I know that my dad could sing. I know that my dad, he's not in my life at all, but I know that he can sing. So I know I got my voice from him.
Okay.
My mum's siblings, a few of the siblings are singers. My gran's actually a great singer. She was always top of the choir. She still sings now. So she's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So by the time you got to Lion King, were you studying?
I was studying. I had to ask permission in college and ask my head teacher if I could leave early and go back for my exam. So what I was doing was I was going in for my exam in the morning. I would go to rehearse for the Lion King. I'd go to bed and I'd do it like that. So I was doing my exams whilst rehearsing for the show.
Wow.
And then I passed my exams and then I went straight into the show. So I left like 2 months early, I believe.
Okay. That's amazing. Gosh, that's amazing. That kind of like, I don't know, the thought there was for me, we were about the same age. We are the same age.
Yeah.
And we found our way through the arts around about the same time, it sounds. While you were doing your exams and going into Lion King, I was nurturing a baby and going for my auditions. So yeah, no, I just love that. I don't know. For me, I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's just seeing that.
There's a connection there.
Yeah. But also, yeah, I'll have to journal on that. Which brings me, before we get to that, kind of like how we nurture our inner selves and the wise parts of ourselves. Or maybe we'll do that now. What is your process? Do you have a process? Do you like to read? What's your inspirations?
I do like to read. I do like to meditate. I'm trying to do yoga. But I learn. I just learn daily. And I think the thing that has kept me so kind of grounded is trying to just be at peace with where you are, what you're feeling. And it's so, how can I say this? It's so easy to compare yourself and your journey with others. And I think being in the industry that I am, it's so easy to do that. And I think I got to a place of, it was just unhealthy. I was always comparing myself, like, why do I look like this? And, oh, I wish I didn't have these breasts, and I wish that I could jump as high as this. And it's like, it just did me no favors. And I woke up and I said, look, there has to be a change here. And I think that's what it is. And it's still a process, but I love to read. I read like Ian Van Zandt. I love like Until Today. I read daily motivational, positive books. I try not to read the whole, negative books. The same thing on Instagrams. I do clear outs all the time. Whatever's negative, I just don't want to be around. I try and remove myself and remove people. Actually, you have to remove people, you have to remove places, you have to, anything negative or what doesn't serve you, you have to be able to let go of. And the more I've let go of, and little things like decluttering your room and things like that work for me, but everything is different for different people. But I find that that's what works for me, and just having some time for yourself wherever you can. I'm finding peace.
Yes.
It's hard to do.
It really is. So for the books that you've mentioned, I will link those in the show notes for our listeners. Have you heard of Marie Kondo?
I haven't. No.
The Magical Art of Tidying Up, and it's all about decluttering.
It's ridiculous though, because like I feel like it's become a bloody habit. I'm decluttering all the time. I'm gonna be left with like nothing in any of my wardrobes. I'm throwing everything away, all my clothes, all my papers, everything.
Yeah, your room, the room that you're in, looks amazing. No, I genuinely feel like I commit to decluttering things. It's something about the energy. It does make room for other things in life. Yes. So yeah, and it's not just, it just doesn't extend to decluttering the physical things that are around you, the tangible things that are around you. It is going through your Instagram. I mean, the Marie Kondo Magical Art of Tidying Up, she encourages you to go through your things, touch them, and ask yourself, does this spark joy? And if it doesn't spark joy, you get rid of it. And I think that's the same for Instagram.
Read that book. I'm going to read that book. Sounds really good.
Yes, absolutely. You can get it on Audible as well. All linked in the show notes. So I am going to ask you next about your highlights of your life and career to date.
Okay. Highlights. Ooh. When you're I've had so many. I think I forget. Or an opening night is always the most magical thing, like in a show. And I've just done so many shows that I've never really sat down and thought, oh my God, that was such a highlight, and what a moment that was. But now you're making me think and go back to, I have them on my wall, like all of the shows that I have done. And the opening nights. Motown was incredible.
Wow. Sorry, what was incredible?
Motown was incredible. Getting to meet, Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown, it's mad. Smokey Robinson, people that you know, I listened to at home, and I've got vinyls. Bonkers. That was a huge highlight. The Lion King being my first show was a highlight. Oh my gosh, seeing my mum and my gran in the audience was, yeah. Also a highlight of mine was going and doing cruise ships and seeing the world, because that's where, you know, my talent had taken me, doing cruise ships. And then lastly, I think my last highlight has been starting a business and just feeling the fear and doing it anyway, and feeling like, oh, you know, little things like, I got a logo. Wow, it's amazing. And just really acknowledging the small achievements, as well as these huge big things.
Yes, that's beautiful. Did you have moments between your jobs, your stage jobs, where you was wondering what was going to come next?
Oh yeah 100%. You know, at first it was great. I was going from show to show, but then there was a little niggle in there where you would audition, you just get no's, and it's like, oh my god, now what am I going to do? You know, what am I actually going to do? But you sit and you think and you go, do you know what else can I do? And then youth work was my thing, and I've always gone back and done youth work. And also it gives you time to just really think and reflect on what has happened. And, you know, it's part of life's journey. It's part of my process, and it is what it is. But there have been some really low times, honestly, really low times where you're like, I felt like rubbish. What, I can't do anything else. And, you know, what am I doing? You know, financially, you're so used to getting money every week doing West End shows, and then you have no money, and it's like, oh my god. And then COVID, and then it's just like things hit you, and you're like, right, okay, you know, I can either you rise or you fall. And it's a choice, and it's all your mindset. And this bad boy has saved me.
Amazing.
Many a times.
So when Tanya says this bad boy, she taps on her her mind, yes, her head. Yeah, she's tapping on her head. So just to make that descriptive for and inclusive, to make our podcast as inclusive as possible. So that brings us to Fly High Workshops. You are the founder of Fly High Workshops. So, congratulations on your achievements with that. Can you tell us a bit about Fly High Workshops, what you do?
Yeah, Fly High Workshops is a CIC. I wanted to create something that I wish I had when I was younger. And what we do is we work hand in hand through performance and self-development. Okay, so we're huge advocates of self-belief, self-confidence, and self-discipline through the arts, but you can obviously take a lot of, you know, what we do teach you, and you can go out in the world and do whatever you want to do. And we go into schools and colleges, and, you know, primary schools, secondary school, colleges, unis. We work with staff members as well if some adults want it, and it's about bringing that joy through performance and performing arts. So whether that's poetry, whether that's doing choreo, musical theatre, street dance, spoken word, drama, the whole lot. And our creative team are amazing, and we are not just Black owned, but we are Black staffed. And that for me was a real, you know, that was a conscious thing. I really want to ensure that I stick by that, because there's so many Black professionals who aren't given the chance to do that for some reason, to go into schools and colleges and you tell their story, and teach. Like, we're professionals, you know, we're DBS checked, we're good, you know. So that was a huge thing for me. And like I said, because we do performance and self-development, we also do meditation. We do self-affirmations in class. It's so important to it was important for me to add that element to our workshops, because I think you're never too young to self-affirm.
Yes.
As well, I've only established this in my 30s. And we have 6-year-olds affirming themselves.
I love that.
It's amazing. They're amazing. And they say, I am amazing. I am a star. I am worthy. I am confident. You know, I believe in myself. And it's like, I wish I had that at 6.
Yes.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
I love that. Your work sounds incredible. So your CIC, that means social enterprise. So you've built your company on social aims, and it's not for profit. So how was your journey in setting that up? How long did it take?
Really hard. I'm not going to lie. It was a vision. I think everyone has a vision. And this vision for me came through COVID. I was just teaching a few of my friends, kids, to sing online for free. It was just, let me just so that they had bringing them some joy, bringing myself some joy. I actually think it was therapy for myself as well as me giving back to them, because I was supposed to be in Sister Act at the time.
Right.
And my contract obviously completely got swiped because of COVID. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I couldn't think of the money at the time. I just needed joy because I was in a really, really horrible, dark space. And I was like, what can I do? And then I got talking to some friends, and I was like, you know, I'm a youth worker at heart, and why can I not mix the two? And I wanted people to feel like they were flying high within self, you know, and yeah, it just kind of came together. I spoke to a handful of my really good friends who are amazing Black professionals in their fields and what they do. And I said, look, are you willing to kind of help me? Because I don't actually know what I'm doing here. I had to be very honest. I said, this is my vision. And I'm still learning. But I realized the importance of asking for help.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people in our community, we've got so much pride. And we don't ask for help. And I think it's time that we ask for help. And ask for help, you know, through our community. I think there are a lot of us that can help each other. I think strength in numbers, man. Strength in numbers.
Definitely. And that's something that I kind of, if looking back, would say that I wish I'd done earlier.
Me too.
Delegate, ask for help. No man is an island, no woman is an island. Everything that we see is a result of teamwork. You can feel like you're doing something alone, but you're not. The table that you're sitting at, the pen that you're writing with, it's the result of someone else's imagination, a team of people bringing it together to create it, to make it, to get it to you. So definitely asking for help sooner. But I still, do you know what? I congratulate you for doing, I mean, COVID wasn't that long ago. We're only just out of it. From you to go from vision to bringing it out, you know, you're sitting here in your uniform, your company uniform.
Yeah, I've got a lesson.
Oh, yeah. So you've branded it well. Are you teaching classes yourself?
I am at the minute. I'm facilitating classes myself. I also have team members doing around and doing it as well. I like to share the load also because I want this to be something that will operate on its own. I don't want to have to be there. And also it's a generational thing. You know, I'm teaching younger people to teach as well, because I want this to carry on. And also when I go into a show, I'm not going to be able to teach.
Yes.
So, you know, I think that's the thing is not being greedy and not wanting to do everything yourself. I think it's just having a great core team of Black professionals who represent your company really well and, you know, share the same vision. And yeah.
Yes. I mean, our kind of mission in work are quite aligned. I feel like I'm the founder of DramEd, very similar social aims as fly high workshops, we're children's, so early years and up to key stage 2, which is the age of 11. How do you feel about running your business, so working on your business and in your business? How do you navigate that? You facilitate workshops, but also you have to pull this brand together, find the teachers.
Really hard. I've actually just realized how hard it is, and I've actually put a post up saying that, you know, I'm wanting to grow this team now, because doing things like, you know, people say, oh, social media is nothing, you know, you just put a post every day. It's like, actually, no, I'd prefer to have a team behind the scenes and doing that, because it's hard work. And I'm, you know, I don't just have fly high workshops. I'm like, I work too. Do you know what I mean? So I am going into castings. I have my agent sending me this and that. I'm learning script. I'm learning music. I'm gigging. Like, I am a worker. Yes. I'm a worker. So yeah, that balance now, especially that the world started to open up again, is when I've started to realize it hit me.
Yes.
It definitely hit me. You know, when I was stuck in the house, it was a little bit different. But now I'm like,
Yes. And so coming from performing arts or the arts, musical theatre, into business, so you didn't study business, you're figuring this whole stuff out by yourself. And I found, there was so much things that I didn't know in business, when it even came to job titles, or who am I asking for? What am I looking for? What's out there? What resources can I use to help? Have you found anything in particular that you were like, I wish I knew about this sooner in business? It could be a resource, it could be a person that does a role.
Ooh, that's a really good question. God, there's one friend in particular who's just awesome, who's just taught me so much. But simple things like positions, you know, like back in the day, obviously you have your, you know, your trees and your charts, and, you know, start at the top and go down, and this person's there and that person's there. And I just wish that I paid a bit more attention in secondary school with like just that little diagram alone, honestly. And I seriously, I think that's what I wish that I had taken and learned sooner, was like understanding that there is this system. There is a system. There's a system in everything, isn't there?
There is, and you kind of have to figure out and create a system for things to be successful, like a process.
Absolutely.
For me, it'd be spreadsheets. I wish I paid attention to spreadsheets.
Grace, me and spreadsheets. I don't want to deal with spreadsheets, Grace. I'll be honest with you. I've said no. Definitely hiring somebody, spreadsheets. Yeah. It's really bad. I think because I'm so much of like a visionary, and so much of I'm so stagey. Like, I love being on stage. I love being practical. Anything theory and anything written, I can't stand. And I'm trying to actually learn to love that at the minute. Yeah. And I'm struggling with that. I really am. But that's definitely what I prefer. But yeah, spreadsheets. Oh my
spreadsheets. God. But I think it's okay to be in a position of knowing that this is your strength, knowing that you are the visionary, and not trying to be all things in your business. But so yeah, if you can delegate, you know, spreadsheets out. Have you ever heard of a VA? A virtual assistant. Oh, if you can get yourself a virtual assistant.
Amazing. Virtual assistant.
A virtual assistant. I pay my virtual assistant to do all the admin stuff, do all the spreadsheets. Yes, just take care, create the spreadsheets. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm happy to that makes me happy to give you some share something that perhaps you is new at the minute. Okay, so moving on, because I know you've got Pilates soon. Yes. What is your big picture goal in life? What do you want? Yes.
Gosh, in life. God. What a question this is, guys. I certainly want to be financially comfortable, to have a family who are the same, have a business that is well known internationally. I'd love to be able to take Fly High workshops across the globe, because children and young people, they are everywhere. They are everywhere. That would definitely be a goal. But I certainly I want like a family.
Yeah.
I really want a family. Because I think it's important to show my kids what I've done. And I want to be able to do that. But definitely like financial comfortability would be amazing, because I wish I was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think that you don't need a because after that. And I believe that your financial comfortability makes for you to do more good work in the world, and you're clearly doing that.
Absolutely, you're right. Scrap the because, Grace.
Right.
Because replace the because with a full stop.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So can you imagine yourself at the age of 86 or another wise old age?
86. Oh, I'll still be singing. I'll be like my nan. My nan's 90 and still singing around with her pots and pans. And probably not in the country. I'd want to be back in St. Lucia, I think, at that age.
Can you imagine a spot, your favorite spot? You're 86, standing in your favorite spot, contemplating life. Can you describe yourself? Can you tell us where you are and what you're reflecting back on, what Tanya's done?
I would be on Reduit Beach in St. Lucia, under the coconut tree, looking out to the sea with a few locals, a couple of crabs scattering, maybe with a piton in my hand, which is the St. Lucian beer. Yeah, at 86, I'll have a beer. And honestly, like, my kids will be running their businesses. Fly High workshops will still be known, world renowned, and hopefully sat with like my grandkids talking to them about Fly High workshops. I mean, how cool is that? I just closed my eyes.
Amazing.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That sounds so amazing. And so finally, back to Tanya at the age you are now. What advice would you give to your younger self or anyone who relates to your journey in the arts and forging a career for themselves that is in alignment with what they want?
Yeah, I would say the one thing is believe in your own magic. I say it all the time because I didn't believe in mine for quite a long time. I was told to. I always had it in the back of my head, but I was always kind of in and out. Yeah, I'm great. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm great. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm great. No, I was still comparing. So just believe in your own magic, and what is for you is for you. Because when you go into the arts, you audition constantly and you get so many no's. You really do. And you just think, oh, why do I bother? But one yes is the yes that you're supposed to get, because you're supposed to be at that place at that time. Yeah.
And do you believe that the no's are, I mean, I believe that the no's shape me to my yeses. Sometimes I look back at my no's and I think, oh no, that no, the way that I felt then or what I learned then, I needed that for this.
Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely. And you know what, when you're young, no's just really do hurt. It's always when you get older that you realize, oh, I weren't supposed to be there, or that weren't for me. And yeah, they definitely, God, I've had so many no's, Grace. I've had so many no's. It's a joke. But yeah, I mean, they do. They kind of just they really make you stronger as well. They make your mind really strong. They do. They can make or break you, but if you use every negative and make it into a positive somehow. I done with no's. I was like, no, okay. I mean, that sucks, but I'm not supposed to be there. And then when one door closes, another door opens.
Yeah.
Some no's are there so that you're not blocking your blessings.
Yeah. So the aim is to go out and get the no's, get as many no's as you can, get them over and done with quickly, build up the resilience.
Yeah.
And every no makes you closer to your yes.
Exactly that.
I love that. Tanya, tell us where we can find you, support your work. Tell us what you're in. What have you got coming up?
Oh gosh, okay, so I am heading back into the Book of Mormon. I was in the Book of Mormon in 2014. I'm going back now as a swing for a period of time, maybe just like a year. Yeah, which is going to be awesome. So I'm going to be in the Prince of Wales Theatre in Leicester Square, like between Leicester Square and Piccadilly Circus. So you can catch me in that show. Instagram, my personal Instagram is at Tanya Nicole Entertainment, and my business Instagram is at Fly High Workshops. So you can find me.
Brilliant. We will go and follow you there on both those platforms. Congratulations for your role in the Book of Mormon. I've never seen that, but I definitely will be getting my ticket. Yeah.
Humor, definitely come and see it. Adult humor.
Yes.
So definitely come.
Okay. And can you tell me what a swing is? You use the term that I wasn't familiar with.
Swing, yeah. So ensemble means you're on every night. A swing means you could be on for any of the female roles. So I basically have to learn all the female tracks. And whenever they are, obviously we have our holidays, don't we, in there? So whenever anyone's off, I'm on. So I'm always ready to go on.
Oh, wow. I never knew that. I never knew that's how it worked.
Yeah. Bit more money.
Great.
Yeah.
Good. And do you see, talking about, I know you've celebrated quite a lot about, or you've spoke about how it felt to be in a cast of other Black people, a predominant Black people in The Lion King. And it sounds like, you know, doing Sister Act, that you've done some shows where you see other people that look like you, you're not alone. Do you see that reflected back to you in the audience?
No, we need more Black people coming and watching shows. 100%. It's so important. It's not, and the thing is, I don't know. I think, oh God, it's hard, isn't it? Because some people say, oh, you know, they're just so expensive and this and that. But I don't know. I do think that sometimes ticket sales are really expensive.
Yes.
But also, I think our community needs to be more open to going to shows, because there are some really awesome shows out there where you have a lot of Black actors, where a lot of young Black people would watch and aspire to be like us, you know?
Yes.
I watched The Lion King when I was young, and I remember seeing all the Black people on stage. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And I still do it now. I mean, and I'm a West End performer, but I still go and support and watch other shows, and I'm still inspired by watching other people in other shows that look like me.
Yeah.
You know? So go to theatre more.
Yes. Okay. And for anyone who, I'm going to link, check out the Audience Friend. It's an initiative to get more people, Black people, Asian people, working class, low income. I think nurses, they offer free tickets to you. So you sign up, you find them, you sign up. I'll link it in the show notes below. I've been to a few shows through the Audience Friend, and love it. So and they definitely do diversify the audience. So I'll send you more information about that, Tanya, just so you can share it and spread it around. I've lost your audio, but I just want to say, have you? Nope, you're there. You disappeared for a second. I could see your mouth moving, but I couldn't hear you. But you're back. Thank you so much for being our guest on today's show. I really thoroughly enjoyed my conversation with you.
Thank you.
You're so inspiring. Just well done for all your achievements, for everything that you stand for everything that you are creating. And since we're both 34, I hope to be 86 and join you in St. Lucia.
It's on, yeah. Let's put it out there.
Let's see if I can see it. Yes.
See it happening.